So I've heard that Paul came up with it. I've heard that Joey Styles came up with it, and I've also heard that Tommy Dreamer came up with the name. So I really don't know.
Just don't remember. On August 26, 2000, you defeated Rhino for the ECW television title. Do you have any memories on winning that?
Yeah, I won it. I remember winning it in Hammerstein Ballroom. It was pretty cool. Van Dam was involved. We did like this big, got everybody in the ring. Everybody's fighting to clear the dressing room out, you know, even though it was supposed to be a match between me and Rhino. And did the big dive out to the ring, to the floor. Took the big gore, cut like a whole 360 flip on it, and then Van Dam came out, did a little something, and then he gave him, I believe, a frog splash, and I gave him a leg drop simultaneously, and that's a big night. Yeah, it's not every day you get to win the ECW World Television title.
Right. Now, what led you to leaving ECW, and if you could share a couple of your thoughts on Paul Heyman?
I'm sorry, one more time.
Oh, I'm sorry. What led to you leaving ECW, and if you could you share a couple of your thoughts on Paul Heyman?
What led to me leaving ECW?
Right.
They called me up and said there's no more ECW, and I was getting offers from WCW. And, I mean, they called me and told me, but I did kind of leave prematurely before the word had gotten out and said that ECW was absolutely no longer, you know. Everybody was waiting it out because I was under a contract, you know, so I couldn't just get up and leave. So I contacted Paul Heyman, and Paul was like really cool about everything. I signed over any amount of money that I owed, that they owed me or anything like that. Nothing else. You know, that was it. Just signed over what they owed me on my contract because, you know, of course they were having hard times and I still had time left on my contract. So I just signed it over to Paul, and that was that. He let me go clean and free. He never screwed me over on any money. I was always paid. They treated me very well, and if it wasn't for Paul Heyman, there would not definitely be a Kid Kash.
Okay, you mentioned that you went from there to going into WCW, which actually leads into my next question. You were in there for a short time before Vince McMahon and WWE bought out. Do you have any memories from that short time? I believe it was only a week or two you were there before they got bought out.
Well, that was about 2 or 3 weeks. I think it was 3 weeks. I had literally just signed with them, and I was very happy with the deal and everything, and was very content with it. And I did a couple of dark matches, and then I did a Nitro. No, it was a Thunder. I think I did a Thunder, and I got the weekly schedule for that week, and when I went home, I got a phone call from John Laurinaitis and said that just don't worry about coming down. They're only going to have a few people on the show. Something else was going on. And so I watched the show, and then come to find out that they bought the company. Then a week later, I got another call from John Laurinaitis and said he's going to work for WWE, that they wanted to keep me, but they didn't really need all of that manpower, so they wanted to renegotiate the contract. And the renegotiation was pretty, you know, I was losing a good bit of money off of what I signed for, you know, and I was losing a good bit of TV time because they wanted me to go to Cincinnati for Heartland Wrestling and just kind of waiting until they called me. And I was, you know, talked to a couple of people about it, you know, and had an agent at the time, even had a lawyer that I kept, you know, talking to a lot, and we just discussed everything, and it just wasn't something that I was looking to go through. So I took a chance and left, and technically didn't even really need the release, but got one verbally anyway, and then I went to TNA.
So in that short time that you were in WCW, you hear a lot of horror stories about the locker room atmosphere. What was it like for you?
You know what? I'd already been around a little bit, and everybody already knew me. Same with WWE. A lot of people already knew where I came from. They knew that I paid my dues. You know, we're such a dying. You know, me and a few select other people. We're kind of like a dying breed of wrestlers now. You know, so nobody ever gave me a hard time. I saw, you know, in every dressing room you have the dickheads, you know, and the assholes. I saw the dickhead and the assholes of the WCW, you know, so just like any other dressing room, really. And, but nobody ever messed with me, so I never had any problems.
Okay. But you previously said that after you left WCW, you'd go into TNA. That was the next time that we saw you. Real early on, you won the X Division Championship from Sonny Siaki. What are your memories of that night and memories of working with Sonny Siaki?
I remember Sonny Siaki and I are cool people, but we just don't mix in the ring. We don't flow very well. You know, so he tries to be a different style of a wrestler than what his body, you know, his size is. He doesn't really, you know, he just doesn't, I don't know, we just don't have the same philosophy, so therefore sometimes it was hard to have good matches with him. But he was a good base man because I did some high flying and he was big enough or strong enough to, you know, really pull the move out good, you know, make it look really good. So, I mean, he's talented. I mean, you can't take anything away from the guy. We just didn't flow.
Okay, and also while you're in TNA, you won the NWA Tag Team titles with Dallas, I believe twice. What were your memories of teaming with Dallas? Did you get along with him well?
Yeah, Dallas is a great kid, man. Lance, he was just ready to learn. He was young. He'd been out a little bit already out in Texas and stuff. I mean, so he knew a little bit, and I just kind of like helped refine him a little bit, you know, just try to, you know, fine-tune him a bit. And he did very well. He always listened. He was just a great guy, and, you know, he tried very, very hard. I like that about him. He was always thinking, you know, always had something in his mind he wanted to try and wanted to do. But it was, you know, he would run it by me first, and because he respects, you know, the time and, you know, that I put in the business and what I've done so far, you know. So we always got along really good, honestly. He was a good kid, and I hope I think he's in WWE now. I'm not really sure, but if he is, I think if they just be patient with him, he's definitely going to be good. They're going to have to get something out of him.
Yeah, he is in WWE. He's teaming with Kurt Hawkins right now. Also with TNA, they're getting ready to do the Hardcore Justice pay-per-view. Have you been contacted? And if so, will you be appearing at that pay-per-view?
I'm not sure. I don't know. You never know what's going to happen. I've talked to a few people from the office, and we're still talking, you know. I mean, what happened with it's not like me coming in like anybody else, you know. It's me, Kid Kash, and TNA. You know, we had a little bit of a history, you know. So it's going to have to be a little bit of talking and a little bit of understanding, you know, before we can work together again. And I think, you know, we're on that path and on that road. But I don't know. I probably wouldn't say this soon out. When is the pay-per-view? Like August, what?
August 8th.
That
next weekend.
Yeah, I'm sure that they probably already have that show written out by now, you know. I mean, it's just next week.
They're still actually contacting people, believe it or not.
Well, I mean, you know, I've talked to a few people, but like I said, we need to do more talking than just accepting, you know, pay-per-views. So I take one day at a time, you know, and if they want me to do something like that, it'd be great. If not, I mean, I still don't hold any hard feelings with anybody, and who knows? I still do my thing, you know. I do my MMA stuff. I do a lot of European traveling, you know, and doing seminars and all kinds of other stuff. So I'm pretty good.
Well, you know, at least on my part, I'd love to see you on the pay-per-view. I do believe we have a couple callers. If you're cool, can we go ahead and take them?
Sure.
All right,
No,
Andrew, go ahead and have people in.
Yeah, our first caller actually says he knows you, a guy named Nathan Brooks from the North Carolina area, so I'm going to put him through.
Okay.
And hello, Nathan, can you hear me? Hey, Nathan, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, Kid Kash. I was trained by the same guys you were trained by. The reason I have a question for you, man.
You were trained by the Rock and Roll Express?
Yes, sir, I was.
Really? Okay. I'll have to ask Ricky. And what's your name?
My given name or wrestling name?
Well, your wrestling name, I guess. Yeah.
Nathan Brooks.
Nathan Brooks. Okay. Yeah, I just talked to Ricky actually today. I'll have to call him.
I mean, I was one of the kids that was like really went between Tennessee, Georgia, and Kentucky. I was.
Okay, cool. What's up, man?
Yeah, I was just wondering. You ever felt like you could give more to the business, or like be a trainer or anything like that?
I do. I train. I do like seminars, man. I have like a little tour that I do overseas. I'll go to Europe and do about sometimes up to like a little over a month. I'll do like a week to a couple of weeks in one city, like in England or something. Then I'll leave there and then go do another week in another country and another week in another country. At these wrestling schools that are already established. I just throw in a different style of training. I do a lot of MMA style training with my wrestling training. So these people are getting something they've never seen before.
The reason I was asking is because my given name is Daniel, and I was trained probably like not by him. It was like how you were trained a little bit, but I was pushed through because they thought, well, you're a big dude, you can do more stuff for us as a heel, and now I can't do the business because I've had bad health, and I mean I was pushed from guys that knew the business, and then I learned it, and then they would just have me out as an announcer or a referee.
Right.
And I remember meeting you as a kid coming to North Carolina with the Rock and Roll Express.
Mhm.
And
yeah,
I mean, you were like, I think you were like as their son or something, as a gimmick.
Ricky, yeah.
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 I was. You came to a small high school called West Carter High School, and that's where I met you guys.
Well,
cool. I'm just saying that's how I met you, and that's how I was trained by some of them.
Okay, cool. It's been a while back, huh?
The best guy, man. Yeah.
Well, thank you for calling in, man.
Thanks.